They told you the story ended at 7, right? 7 chakras, 7 days, 7 sins, 7 virtues, right? Neat, containable, easy to teach, right? But systems that want control always end the map before the dangerous territory begins. You understand me? I'm speaking now as Spryte the Emcee, goddess of the might, goddess incarnate. A woman, seasoned by time and educated by these institutions that man made. I went to college, got a couple degrees, and I'm sharpened by survival. I survived the streets from a young age. I've studied the mind. I've lived in the margins as a woman. And I'm going to tell you guys this real fucking plainly. What most people call reality is a psychological enclosure, not a science fiction matrix, okay? A conditioning matrix built through repetition, reward and punishment, fear-based learning, okay? Psychology 101. So your nervous system was trained before you ever consented, right? From childhood. You were taught what to value, what to ignore, what questions were appropriate, and which ones made you dangerous. That's not enlightenment, you guys. That's compliance conditioning. Okay? Colonial systems did not just steal the land. They stole meaning. They edited myth into morality, turned goddesses' knowledge into sin, and turned intuition into superstition, right? And then they called it civilization. So as a psychology graduate, as an intuitive and smart woman, here's the psychology behind it, the psychological truth. A human being who does not question becomes externally regulated, right? They outsource authority. They seek permission. They mistake belief for truth. That's how the dark matrix sustains itself. So now let's talk about the chakras, right? Let's talk about the chakras. I do chakra work in yoga, and they say there's only 7, right? They didn't want you asking about the 13th and 14th chakras, because the 13th chakra is not in the body. Think about that. The 13th chakra is not in your body. It exists in collective memory, the collective conscience. You hear that train coming? Ancestral knowledge, buried texts, suppressed histories. Okay? From a psychological lens, this is the transgenerational unconscious. What we women and some men remember. This is the material that's passed down through trauma, story, silence, ritual, right? You activate your 13th chakra when you stop saying, well, that's just what I was taught, and start asking, who the fuck decided that bullshit, right? The 13th chakra opens through reading, real reading, not actual scrolling, right? Not captions, not algorithms, books with paper, books that were banned, myths before they were sanitized, and the history that was erased, right? Why do they call it his story when it's her story? Her. God is a woman. Everything was created in the fucking womb. When you read, you reclaim your agency over meaning. And agency is the enemy of every controlling system, right? So now let's talk about the 14th chakra. This one dissolves the lie that you're separate. Separate from nature. Separate from each other. Separate from power. All right? It's integration, guys. Psychology taught me integration. The moment when the fragmented self reconnects Pattern to pattern, cause to effect, and self to system, right? At this level, manipulation becomes very obvious, right? Fear loses efficiency. You see how economics shapes trauma, keep people poor and broke and working? How religion shapes guilt, you're going to hell if, right? How media shapes your fucking identity. All you people are fucking stuck in this ideology that these politicians care about you now. When you start questioning everything, you stop personalizing what was systematic, right? That alone will heal you. This is why the Matrix hates uneducated, intuitive, embodied fucking women or men. The non-conforming mind is the key to healing the patriarch. Anyone who can see layers, anyone who can witness it, right? Hip-hop taught me this way before academia ever did. I was running the streets at age 10, rapping and doing hip-hop. Bars are compressed truth. See, they call it a bar when you write a line. That's a bar, baby. The cipher, sitting in a circle with 6, 7 other MCs. The cipher, that's shared knowledge. That's the circle. The mic is the memory, right? As a psychology graduate, I'll say this real super clean here. Belief without investigation creates suggestibility, right? You just believe what they tell you to believe. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, right? And suggestible populations are easy to govern, easy to keep in line. That's not conspiracy, guys. That's behavioral science. That's what I got my education in. The goddess path is not passive spirituality. It's literacy. It's pattern recognition, emotional regulation. It's knowing when something feels off because you've trained your mind to recognize the incongruence of it. That's sixth sense. Read your own books. Build your own altar. And if someone tells you this is the final truth, that's your cue to dig deeper. Truth doesn't fear comparison, you guys. The higher gates don't open because you believe harder or pray more. They open because you know more. And knowledge, real fucking knowledge, always leads to liberation. This matriarchy merging is not a fantasy. It's a remembrance. I am chakra. I am archive. I am the gate above the crown. And so are you. And so are fucking you.